Hello and welcome to the Sheriff's Roundup. I'm Sheriff Bill Brown, and for this edition of the Roundup, we're recording at the scene of an incident that we have become all too familiar with: wildland fires in Santa Barbara County's front country. The cave fire started on Monday, November 25, 2019, on East Camino Cielo, east of Painted Cave, and quickly spread here, in the 100 block of Painted Cave Road. The first 911 call was received at 4:14 p.m., and the Sheriff's Office team immediately came together and took action to protect our community. Sheriff's Dispatch sent an alert message within 4 minutes, warning members of the public about the approaching fire. Senior Deputy Todd Hensland was on scene within 9 minutes of the fire being reported. He immediately recognized that homes were dangerously close to the fire and began evacuations.
Evacuated on 154 and start heading to the east.
Within the first minute, Sheriff's Dispatch received 21 911 calls, and they would go on to receive over 200 more as the fire grew.
The last residence at the north end of Ontario is evacuating, occupied by about 30 people right now with large horses.
As deputies quickly formed evacuation teams in areas below the fire, our dispatch center pushed out numerous wireless emergency alerts. Copter 308, Copter 3, and a Firehawk helicopter from Los Angeles County's fire department were dispatched and flew rotating fire suppression missions throughout the night. By the next morning, deputies and search and rescue teams had contacted 2,284 residences, and hundreds of firefighters and aerial tankers were fighting the fire. Once again, our neighboring law enforcement agencies stepped in to assist with evacuations, road closures, and providing security in closed areas. We were aided by the Santa Barbara, Santa Maria, Guadalupe, and UCSB police departments, by the Ventura County Sheriff's Department, the Ventura and Oxnard police departments, the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, and of course, by the California Highway Patrol. The cave fire was ultimately fully contained on December 14, leaving a burn scar of 3,126 acres. In the weeks that followed, the Los Padres National Forest ordered an assessment of the burn area to determine potential hazards from rainfall to the neighborhoods below the cave fire footprint. In December, officials released the Burn Area Emergency Response Assessment, or BEAR report, that outlined these hazards. In conjunction with that release, the Office of Emergency Management coordinated a town hall meeting on December 19 to address public concerns. We continue to encourage people who live below the cave fire burn scar to be aware of the potential dangers associated with their properties by visiting readysbc.org, where you can also check your address and register for emergency alerts. This quick-moving fire created a very dangerous situation for the public, and I'm proud and thankful for the tremendous response by the Sheriff's Office team and all the other agencies that came together once again to protect our community. Recently, the Sheriff's Office purchased a Light Lab portable cannabis and hemp testing machine from Orange Photonics. Here to explain this new technology and how the Sheriff's Office uses it is the president of Orange Photonics, Stephanie McCarty, along with Sheriff's Commander Rob Plastino.
One of the challenges of our cannabis compliance team has when they go out in the field is whether or not the grow that they're dealing with is actually marijuana or if it's hemp. The only way for us to be able to test on the ground in the field is by using a portable unit like this. This is the Light Lab, and with it we are able to actually take product and run it through this lab, this little portable lab here, out in the field, on the ground, where the guys are working, and be able to test for a percentage of THC. And if it reaches a certain threshold, then it is no longer a hemp product, and it is instead a marijuana cannabis product.
Since the passage of the Farm Bill in December of 2018, hemp was legalized at the federal level. And so our customers and law enforcement are responsible for overseeing the enforcement of the laws. Our equipment, given that it's portable, rugged, easy to use, lets law enforcement officers go out into the business or the community to make an on-the-spot determination if the cannabis before them is hemp or adult use cannabis. And once that's determined, they can either move on for additional testing through the crime bureaus or state laboratories, or they can go on their way. So this tool gives the operator just a quick opportunity to gather that data.
From our perspective, this is extremely important because we need to be able to get the results right away. We can't be waiting days or weeks potentially on lab results to come back to us. These are enforcement actions that we are potentially taking against a farm, which is a business, and if they're in compliance, we want them to continue operating. We don't want to shut things down if we don't need to.
Compliance is everything that we need to do for the state level to get a license, as well as for the county, for us to get our land use permit and then business license.
At Autumn Brands, we've always taken a very proactive approach to compliance and to sustainability. We want to be in the forefront of the industry, and we've always been open to regulation because we feel it keeps the consumers safe and it keeps us proud of what we do. So we have a state-of-the-art vapor phase odor mitigation system that we use here at the farm. We also use the state track and trace system known as Metric to track all of our plants here, and that allows the state to track our plants from the time they're cloned all the way to the time they're sold at a dispensary.
It's important for you guys to be able to come into a farm or a grow, and if they're saying that they're growing hemp, it actually be hemp, because especially in the vegetative state, it doesn't look any different. So if you're going to a grow that has THC plants, then that's not hemp and they're violating their licensing.
Getting the results back timely and quickly, and here within a matter of minutes really, is vitally important for our team to provide the best possible service to the county and to the businesses that are operating legally.
Thank you, Stephanie and Commander Plastino, for introducing us to this new technology. This past quarter, we celebrated the graduation of custody deputies from the Core Custody Academy, as well as sheriff's deputies from the Basic Law Enforcement Academy.
People want to know who we are, who we are.
On November 22, 2019, 16 sheriff's custody deputies, 1 Lompoc police jailer, and 1 independent candidate graduated from the Allen Hancock Core Custody Deputy Academy. Graduates from the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office included Victor Anaya, Jonathan Boone, Jorge Delgadillo, Alicia Duran, Austin Eckerd, Mason Hensland, Jimmy Jimenez, Cole Knapp, Kristen Mahurin, Paul Manugian, Oscar Marentes Jr., Matthew McFadden, Julian Munoz, Jose Robledo III, Ulysses Salazar, and Myra Zuniga. As I shared during the ceremony, one of our graduates, Custody Deputy Knapp, witnessed the horror of the mass shooting at the Borderline Bar and Grill in Ventura County last year. He watched as the suspect walked into the bar and shot a young woman working at the front desk, as well as the person standing behind her. During the ensuing chaos, he attempted to save and guide as many people as he could out of the bar, pushing them to cover behind a pool table and waiting for an opportunity to get them out. When the suspect stopped shooting in order to reload, Custody Deputy Knapp guided others to the smoking patio of the bar and over a fence into the parking lot. That's when he spotted a California Highway Patrol officer making a nearby traffic stop, and he was able to inform that officer of the shooting. Custody Deputy Knapp also helped transport wounded people from the scene to an area of safety. He would soon find that one of his friends, as well as several other people he knew, had lost their lives that tragic night. Custody Deputy Cole Knapp's brave actions exemplify the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office's guiding principles of caring, courage, and service. The class valedictorian, Custody Deputy Mahurin, is following in the footsteps of her parents, who are both retired custody lieutenants with our agency. Custody Deputy Duran was awarded the Ron Battles Award for Most Inspirational Cadet by the Santa Barbara County Deputy Sheriff's Association, and Custody Deputy Eckerd was selected for a Leadership Award presented by the Santa Maria Elks Lodge 1538. On December 10, I welcomed and swore in 3 new sheriff's deputies at the Allen Hancock Law Enforcement Academy. Cameron Hosley and Blake Martinez were welcomed as new members of the Sheriff's Office team, and Celeste Johnson was congratulated on her new role with our organization. All 3 deputies bring with them a familiarity with law enforcement. Hosley was a Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office explorer. Martinez's father is a retired Lompoc police officer, and Johnson was a 911 communications dispatcher with the Sheriff's Office. During the graduation ceremony, Deputy Celeste Johnson received the Academic and Report Writing Awards for earning the top scores in each of these categories. Congratulations to all of the graduates and welcome to the Sheriff's team. In addition to graduations, we also celebrated some other significant milestones these past few months. On October 1st, the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office and the Santa Barbara County Behavioral Wellness Department were recognized by Supervisor Hart's office and the entire Board of Supervisors on the 1-year anniversary of the county's first combined law enforcement and mental health co-response team. I was present to receive the resolution along with Deputy James McCarroll, Mobile Crisis Clinician Bradley Crable, Sheriff's Office Behavioral Sciences Manager Dr. Sherilyn Lee, and Director of the Behavioral Wellness Department, Dr. Alice Gleghorn. Honors were again bestowed at the Board of Supervisors meeting on December 10, when Dr. Lee and Commander Plastino accepted the California State Association of Counties Merit Award for the founding of the Sheriff's Office's Behavioral Sciences Unit. On December 11, Community Resource Deputy Dave Valadez was honored by the City of Goleta for his outstanding service. Goleta Mayor Paula Perotti presented Deputy Valadez with a city tile and thanked him for his 6 years of service and his contributions to numerous projects. December was a monumental month for 2 of our Sheriff K-9 teams. On December 19, Sheriff's K-9 Magnum retired after 6 years of service. Magnum, along with his handler, Sheriff's Deputy Mike McNeil, logged over 40 narcotics-related searches, and together they won an award for their search abilities at the Las Vegas K-9 trials. Magnum now gets to relax at home with Deputy McNeil and his family. Also in December, Sheriff's K-9 Crypto logged his 200th narcotic find. Crypto is a 2-year-old black Labrador retriever assigned to custody Deputy Ian Crypto and work primarily at the Santa Barbara Main Jail, where they search for contraband drugs, including methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, Suboxone, and marijuana. Congratulations to the Behavioral Sciences Unit, to Deputy Valadez, and to our K-9 teams for their well-deserved recognitions. The Sheriff's Office, through Isla Vista Community Resource Deputy Justin Schroeder, recently launched a restorative justice program. Here to tell you about the program are Lieutenant Juan Camarena, Deputy Schroeder, and young men who completed the program.
The Restorative Justice Program is a new program we have and implemented here specifically for Isla Vista. It covers charges including open container of alcohol, consuming alcohol in public, and the loud noise violations. The program is voluntary for both the sheriff's deputy and the participant. If the deputy comes in contact with somebody that they don't believe would be a good fit for this program, they can indicate on the citation that they're not eligible for restorative justice, pull a case number, and issue a court date. Also, the person involved who receives the citation doesn't have to go through the program. They can choose to go through the court process instead of coming to my program as well.
Came out to have some fun with some friends and kind of made the wrong choices. I had an open container, so that was obviously against the law. It was really, really cool to hear that he offered a program.
The benefits of this program are on both sides. For the Sheriff's Department, we really give that person a better understanding of why we're out there and why we do what we do. When the person walks into the program, a lot of times they won't even shake my hand, they won't look me in the eye. By the end of the program, they're giving me a hug, they're shaking my hand, and they realize really that we're out there to protect them.
The biggest thing that I learned was that cops aren't out to get you. This was the first time that I really saw eye to eye. You know, I mean, I think a lot of college students, they see cops as oh, they shut down our parties. But there's way more that they do than that.
I found it interesting to actually find out what the foot patrol and Ivy were actually doing and how much crime they are preventing. I just see them on the street, like at night, or like sometimes you see them, the cars going around, but I don't really know what they're doing. With Restore Justice, I have more information and background, what they're actually doing and why it started, and I have more information, the dangers of IV, and I feel more secure to go and talk to them.
The actual restorative justice program includes this 2-hour workshop where the participants kind of get an idea of why we police the way we do in Isla Vista. We go over the history of Isla Vista and some of the violent and horrible crimes that have happened. After that 2-hour program, they're also required to do 4 hours of community service in Isla Vista.
A quarter of the crime that happens in the county is here, in these 2 square miles. It was kind of an eye-opener. And just to see, people complaining about the cops being here, it's like, well, they're here for a reason.
During the program, what I try and explain to these folks is that 92% of all crime here in Isla Vista is related to alcohol or drugs. And so when we put these stats up on the slides, you can see their eyes focus in on that and go, wait, if we reduce the alcohol violations, maybe we reduce the sexual assaults, maybe we reduce the burglaries, maybe we reduce the vandalisms. And it's funny because I don't lead them into a solution, but it always comes back to zero tolerance alcohol enforcement that they come up with on their own. And so all of a sudden they're teaching each other these things that are things that we're doing out there, and it's sinking in throughout the class that they're realizing why we're out there enforcing the law.
I was thinking that it was just going to be like, we were going to get lectured on like, we're all bad kids, but it wasn't that at all. It was really like just helping us.
The overall vision is to change the culture of Isla Vista. Make it a safer place, make it a better place for the community here, and also for law enforcement. So if you're looking from a bigger picture, it's going to help them and it's going to help law enforcement in general.
Beforehand, I didn't really think too much of the cops out here, but looking at how the program was set up, it was really heartfelt to see that trying to do something.
Not a single participant has committed another crime out here in Isla Vista. I've seen people who have gone through the program out on the streets and they've been overwhelmingly supportive of it. They've been vocal out in the community about how good of a program this is. So hopefully long-term, the classes are gaining in size and it spreads throughout the community and the larger portion of Santa Barbara County as well.
Thank you, Deputy Schroeder, for your involvement in this creative approach to handling these unique challenges in Isla Vista. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Sheriff's Roundup. Thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting us as we protect your safety.